Hi, Nimjo.
Hi, Hendrik.
So what do you think for these few days video?
Yeah, I think it's what needs to be set out in stone, really. That, you know, the body conditioning, the Sangkong and the Salfat, people need to see it as separate. And they also need to see that 70% of it is your body conditioning before you even think about techniques and things like that. So anyone that ignores that or ignores the fact that the VO2 max, which is a reflection of your general fitness, anyone that ignores the fact that fitness, general fitness or basic fitness is an important part of the martial art you're training, in this case Wing Chun, then they're dreaming, you know, if they don't believe that. You know, whether that be a self-defense situation or a sports situation or just training for general health, you know, it's like, you know, you have to take care of yourself, right?
You know, so what people miss is that in the fight, exchange punching, exchange strike is unavoidable. Many of our friends know that I'm a Kyokushin, even when I'm studying the 1850 Wing Chun. In the Kyokushin sparring, in the Kyokushin Open, you know that you exchange punches. So you want to prepare for at least 5-6 punches exchange. Not that everything will land on your friend, your opponent, or not that they will land on you, but you know that forget about telling me this tan sao and then I can this lap sao, all this thing. Forget about this. Once that thing start, if the other party is also a trained guy, and of course, it is a trained guy, because why are you going to bully something which is somebody who is not trained as you anyway? And if you see Mike Tyson, are you going to fight him? You're going to walk away, okay? Because that's reality. Yeah. Now, when you fight with somebody you want to test out, and again here, I am not promoting violence, okay? But if you want to test out, when I was young, I do those kind of stuff too. You have to ready. His punch will have at least 2-3 punch land on you. So if you don't have the training I'm talking about on the VO2 max, how can you go fight that? You're gonna out of breath right away.
Yeah, I think it's more serious if you get knocked down. If you get knocked down, you know, how do you get back up and run away? You know, that's if your adrenaline is shooting to the ceiling and it's sky high, and you've taken a couple of blows and you fall over in the street because you get attacked or whatever, you got to have the ability to get up and run away. And if you don't have that, then
that's why I really seriously pushing this now. Your recovery training, your circulations or aerobic based training, and your endurance training, 3 trainings. Anybody who do not have the complete 3 training, don't go sparring, okay? Don't go gung-ho stuff. Oh, you sure? You might be born strong. But how many is born strong? So this is a must. The interval to go to maximum and coming down, maximum coming down, this is actually like the tempo is emulate in fighting. This is still you have referee, okay? You fought, and then the referee pull you aside, the judge pull you aside, and then you go again. Now, if there is no referee, this can last until you collapse. Now, if you have never trained this way, okay, I really don't know what you're going to do. Do you even have the aerobic based training or the body circulation training, fitness training to in here to build your body up? Do you even have the zone through? Long workout can highly training can have a high training effect. The majority of training should be performed within the zone to build out your base, and then feel like pretty hard going, like they actually become the form, will improve your ability to move quickly and economically. We are not even talking about inspiring. We are not talking this is the aerobic base. Do we have that? If don't have that, is talking about a fighting ability, like many Wing Chuners say, well, you want to go fighting ability? Do you know what is a real life in fighting? And again, any student, if they have precondition, diabetic or asthma or heart problem or high blood pressure, we all today have those kind of issues because in this modern society. I am in the 1970s. At that time, the food is still not processed food and better health. But today, the health is not as good for most people sitting typing computer. If you cannot get past two, you should ban that student from go up here. Why? Hey, do you care? The bottom line is that, do you care for your student? Do you teach them properly? So that's the bottom line now. So what is the point learning all this Tan Pong for what I shared with everybody yesterday on the other YouTube? Why is Wing Chun good? Even though now Wing Chun become partial, because Wing Chun is from military. It's not from bullshit Taoists. Oh, I'm in the cave, I suddenly be able to fight. How much, how frequent is the a Taoist fight? Just tell me. Even the security guard compared with the military man, how often is the security people got, or they try to avoid things too? Can you afford that at every time you transport some money or something and a few of your people die? Now, in military, dying is, I just watching news 2 days ago saying that a Russian tank, correct me if I'm wrong, the tank battle champion was killed in the battle, in the battlefield. He's the champion. See, real life is not, hey, I'm a champion, I'm a whatever, okay? And this respectable soldier who died, of course, we respect him because he's doing his job. No, just take away who's right, who's wrong, but he follow his command. Man, when you're an army, you don't think, you just follow your boss command, okay? But this guy sacrificed there, and hopefully we don't do this kind of stuff anymore. But if you look at that, you know the reality. Practicing, training, and whatever simulation, emulation for war or battle is not in the battlefield. So now where's your Wing Chun go? And I just question everybody left and right. I question everybody left and right. This is your Qi Gong, your internal. This is your basic health. Anybody who train these two things will help their daily life and daily health, and will help them to learn how to fight later on if they they like to, and so forth. And this is endurance. It's not everybody's game. I don't do much of that. You see my heart rate and everything over there, but I keep myself really far away from that because I don't want to. Then that's why we have all this gadget to track myself. So right now, I ask everybody, okay, you train your Wing Chun. How much percent is you develop your body on this part? Okay. Are you really serious that you'll be able to do the recovery? Are you have the endurance training? So you have to answer these hard questions because in the ancient, this is what it is. But today, this is what people think. And all, beside this type of mentality, the entire world beside you is thinking this way. And that's why I say, you go to the web, you type HRV, VO2 max, MMA. You can see everything linked up. You can see that, oh, you need to monitor your heart rate, MMA for better MMA training and so forth, so forth, so forth. So now the bottom line is, what are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, you said it before. This one size fits all mentality, this quick fix, one size fits all mentality is something that students do as well as the teacher. So, it's really fictitious, because any MMA hobbyist, and MMA is like very popular today and many young people train it. Those guys, they know about body conditioning. They know about fitness. Maybe not all of them, but it's part of the sport, right? It has a sports outlet. It has a sports. And so what they aspire to is to be athletic at the end of the day, to be able to have a good cardio, to be able to, maybe they're not interested in fighting in the ring, but you can guarantee that they don't want to be embarrassed gassing out after 2 minutes in one round, right?
3 minutes
but the thing is,
round.
because
3 minutes per round.
Exactly.
But
can you
imagine
handle
an aerobic 3 minutes per round.
So imagine a Wing Chun. It's like, the standard Wing Chun, which is playing around zone 2, and then it stops, and maybe it's just doing the choreography of the Siu Lim Tao with no really thought about inner training or internal training.
What is your Siu Lim Tao do for you? Okay, you can do 1 hour your Siu Lim Tao, but tell me, in terms of the three training, the recovery training, the aerobic based training, not using today's term, and the endurance training, instead of using the Chinese term, where you can watch my video on that thing. So the 3 things: recovery, aerobic base, and endurance. What is your Siu Lim Tao practice train you into that? If there's nothing there, it is a disaster. It is just a ritual.
If people don't understand only the N1, which is laying down,
that's recovery part.
How can they understand the first part of the Siu Lim Tao?
2 days ago,
recovery.
I get into argument with a Wing Chuners from Asia on this VO2 max. So I'm kind of getting fired out. I asked him, so you believe that you lay on the opium dense bed to smoke opium will improve your VO2 max? Okay. While you look at, if you watch my video yesterday, I shared that the Ngo Cho, the student of Ngo Cho, they passing the Qing government's martial art testing, which is so that they become official. They can become official if they want to. Are you kidding? So it is bottom line like that. And you keeping making all those movies, and like the other day I shared on the Pak Sao, Pakta. Isn't that 70%? You just look at Uncle Bruce Lee. Didn't he just jump in the entire thing? You want to be like Bruce Lee? That's good. But you learn all what Bruce Lee do. Don't learn only half of it or 1/10 of it and make believe that we are Bruce Lee. So right now I have questioned everybody. Your Shulim Tao sets or your all entire 3 sets. Recovery, did you get trained for that? Aerobic base, do you get trained for that? Endurance, you get trained for that? Or else, what is that 3-set practice is for? I am not the first one who questioned this. 50 years ago, Uncle Bruce Lee already questioned it. Am I right?
Yeah.
So why is it after he passed away, everybody propaganda on Bruce Lee, like you practice that way, you become Bruce Lee. But actually, Bruce Lee tell you, those type of practice is deadly. So you're using his name to make money, to promote whatever heck rebel, what a boxer librarian thinking, but you don't follow Bruce. Didn't Bruce using all this technology at his time? He using like the lifting, the squat lift, and all this thing, right? So he is traveling what in the ahead of people using instrument and so forth. Look at Bruce Lee. So right now I'm questioning the entire world. That's why the other day I told the guy from Asia. You think that smoking opium making dream that you can become Bruce Lee? Bruce Lee,
yeah, I mean, we live between the fiction, which were the films that Bruce Lee made, and then who Bruce Lee was as a person, right? And people love to talk about Bruce, but you could apply that to, any kind of, maybe Kung Fu practitioner that was really taking it seriously. People haven't, it's.
Now I ask you questions. On all the story on Kung Fu Grandmaster, Supreme Grandmaster, how many of all this, it doesn't matter, as the entire Chinese Kung Fu, especially those called internal guy, how many of their grandfather or their grand teacher have related to military?
I don't know.
How many, right? If you look at Choi Lei Fat, you know that they related to military all the way down. From the 1850s to the fighting the Japanese invasions, they're all there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's not talk about who is number one, but we just talk about who is telling the truth. You go check Charlie Fat. The 10 rules of the school, the Charlie Fat school, which is 100 years ago. The 10 rules. You look at that. Isn't that all is your VO2 max and your endurance training? So what?
Yeah, one of the rules which always stays in my mind is that you have to eat properly, right? So it's just talking about general health, your
diet.
So
your diet. And then you have to have a long breath. That's endurance stuff, VO2 max stuff.
Sure.
So that's why that is the real thing. And today, Kung Fu is fake for the most. Because all this propaganda of the Tai Chi, internal and everything, in my opinion, this and in my opinion that, then I ask everybody, how many of your grandmaster or the founder of that school or that style related to military? If so, you talk about Xing Yi. Xing Yi have a lot of people up there is related to the security guard. Okay, security guard. Trackable, okay? And that's good. You look at the 我做五组, you know that they are students in the mass. They are like that 2% we can identify is passing the Qing Dynasty martial examinations. Now the rest, go check it out. How many? And then you get this Feng Xiu Cheng stuff, sorry, from the wrong camp. Okay, the really massive military happening in 1850, not 1870s, which is where Feng Xiu Cheng is there. So be it you are in the Qing part or the Qing government part or the anti-Qing part, you know that. And you know who know how to do this thing? Xi Xiaodong's friend already has a hand into this. You want to bullshit, they can correct, you can dig the entire of your root up of your style or your lineage. So right now, instead of people slap us in the face in the public, we do a self-correction. It is better. We have more faith that way. And then that's why. If it's not linked to military, don't believe it. And as what I shared, didn't Chi Chi Guang doing the same training with his soldier 460 years ago?
Yeah, he talks about running and jogging. Well, there you go. That's a perfect example, right? That's the first thing he did with them, is make them run.
Didn't Bruce Lee run 5K?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. You know, you're not talking, Hendrik, you're not proposing or presenting anything which is so complicated. It's very simple what you're saying. But the thing is, it touches people's safety zone where they can make money, and or that they can convince themselves that learning martial arts is 5-minute job, you know, and you're challenging that view, and people don't like it, you know, because they're going to go to these big grandmaster seminars where you learn techniques, and they're going to show you 3 or 4 techniques. Be impressed because they're big, you know.
Right now, I have to say this. Why? If you want to run whatever your school, you want to make money whatever you want using your name, don't use Wing Chun. Because nobody have right to screw Wing Chun left and right. That's a Chinese culture. As I always say, you guys, the Chinese don't like that. The Japanese, like the war of the Battle of Nanjing, okay, the Rape of Nanjing. War is not good. I don't like war too, right? And then they complain that, the Japanese historian is actually changed the truth of the war of Nanjing and so forth, so forth, so forth. But so why is you screw your Wing Chun culture? Okay?
Yeah.
You blame on the Japanese, but not all Japanese like that. Okay? But then you ask yourself, okay, you are Chinese, but why do you do this? So for me,
Wing Chun is.
Go ahead.
Wing Chun itself has become the victim in the whole Kung Fu martial arts thing. That Wing Chun as an art has become the victim because it's become so popular. Because in comparison with Pak Mei or something else, which is very smaller interest, like a niche interest, it's become a free for all. Everybody can make a bit of money there, if they want. Everyone can have their own idea, blah, blah, blah. And what happens is the whole thing is diluted, and in the end, it makes no sense. Nothing.
You know where that damn thing is? That habit was learned from Tai Chi. You go to watch a Tai Chi stuff. This guy say Tai Chi according to me. This is how it is. The other day, I just watched somebody saying that when you take punch, you have to empty your breath so that you can take punch. This guy is a 50-year-old Tai Chi guy who said that. I say, nonsense, okay? Obviously, he have clueless. So it's in my opinion, okay, this is not according to the ancient, but when you because in the Tai Chi theory, they say that without how to say that with 有气而无力. Okay, that means if you pay attention to the chi, then there's no strength or breathing, whatever. Okay, and this guy saying that those who take punch, they have to exhale, shout ki out, and then they take, and then say, oh, this is emptiness. I empty out my body. After practice 50 years of Tai Chi, you do that, that's fine. I'm not a Tai Chi guy, okay? Let the Tai Chi guy straighten the thing out. I'm a Wing Chun guy, okay? I'm not some big guys, but I'm just one of the, say, millions of people. But I say, you cannot learn that from there anymore. My Wing Chun, your Wing Chun. Right now, as my question to everybody, your 3 sets. Recovery, aerobic base, endurance. What do you train on the 3 sets? You can tell me all your end technique you want. But let me ask you a question. In the body conditioning, what have you trained with the 3 things? If you don't train that, Uncle Bruce Lee 50 years ago have already said, what the heck you're doing? And Uncle Bruce Lee said, bot doesn't hit back. I said student doesn't hit back. Okay?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there, really, because, you know, maybe a lot of these masters, or, you know, in Europe or in the West, you know, big guys, you know, they're naturally quite strong and stuff, you know, and maybe they've been in a few street fights or whatever, but how they're still hanging on to this Moi myth, you know, where if really Wing Chun represents that it can represent the weaker person, then you should be teaching it in a way that can really benefit the weaker person.
Let's look into the reality. Okay, let's look in the reality. Say, take example. Say, take example, Kyokushin guy. If you fight, you can see that he is a Kyokushin because he trained in the Kyokushin way. The way how he kick, it is not Taekwondo, it is not Thai boxing. Okay? Win or lose on side, but there's a uniqueness come out. Okay? Now, if you keeping talking about I win the fight, I can fight, what is your uniqueness? You cannot show your uniqueness. Just because, you know, so you cannot show your uniqueness, you don't have the training of recovery, aerobic base, and endurance. You just only, guess what? You just win just because of your body is stronger than the other guy.
Exactly.
So it got nothing to do with that martial arts.
Exactly.
So right now there's the case already. Everybody bullshit on everything.
Well, the thing is that, you know, and these are the people that are propagating the whole Moi story, and, you know, Wing Chun can benefit the weaker person. Well, really, if it's going to benefit the weaker person, you better show the weaker person how to get stronger, you know, how to become fitter.
Now, let me get into the fighting ability. A weaker person fight a stronger person. So that is a dynamic strength, and that is the absolute strength in any fight, okay? If you look at Mike Tyson, he had both the dynamic strength, where how many pound of punch he can strike per you know, on his power, and then also because his body is huge, very strong, he have the absolute strength. Now you have a lady, say a lady, a teenager. A teenager, in order, if get attacked by a normal people, not Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, you better run, okay? So a teenager, if she practice self-defense, the first thing, if you have the VO2 max, she have the VO2 max, she have the endurance training. Of course, she's going to get close, elbowing down, because there's the uniqueness, and that is the ability of fighting. If you never train that, you say, well, okay, now, All those things is, you know, they have the, because they need the momentum handling, they have the VO2 max and endurance, and then they have the uniqueness of their attack. That is called dynamic strength. Okay, so they are weaker, but they have the dynamic strength and they know how to KO the other guy. Now, when you don't teach this kind of stuff, you don't have this training, what are you training? Like those are air stewards in the YouTube. How the hell that is get work? You just only give them for security. You're going to screw them.
Sure.
So this is very clear now.
Yeah, and there's more misconceptions. You know, like you go to maybe a grandmaster seminar and they will explain to you, no, because Wing Chun will take the eyes out of the person. Wing Chun will rip the ear off the person. Wing Chun will do this. Wing Chun will do that. Wing Chun's not going to do anything if the guy weighs 30 kilos more than you and runs at you and is a rugby player and puts you to the ground. Your head hits the concrete, then it's over for you, you know. So you can talk all you want about taking someone's eyes out or ripping someone's ear off, but general fitness of being able to save oneself is important, right?
No, the concept is this. To anybody say Wing Chun, poking eyes and all those things, you tell them in the real fight, we exchange punch. You want to prepare to be able to take 4 punch, 4 strike each other, 2-way. If you cannot take it, forget about it. Don't tell me any techniques. You need to be able to take 4 punch from your opponent. If you have a techniques, you can avoid it. Maybe you can skip, you know, like so it's no full potential hit you, but it still will get like 1 land at you hard. Okay.
Of course.
If you don't have those kind of training, forget about telling me fighting ability, because you don't know what is the reality.
Sure.
And I don't want to do that. Why? In my age, I getting old, I just go, I avoid all fighting. And I can train Wing Chun for recovery and aerobic base, get a good health. But not boasting all this nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And so you talk about all this king of Wing Chun and everything. That's why I'm asking question. Who related to the military? Asking the question. If nobody related to the military, then you know that it's just story. The second thing is, what is the uniqueness of their fighting? A Western boxing fight in the Western boxing way, a BJJ fight in the BJJ way. What is your Wing Chun way? And what is your 3 sets do? Like the other day, I talked about this Pak Sao. Everybody have this Pak Sao, but everybody miss this Pak Sao. This is very important, because once you park this way, you have to continue on the other strike. Don't pull back, Wing Chun. And Lap Sao never like that. If you like this, but once you engage in this, once you engage in this 3 finger, your entire hand become clumsy. So when you want to pull, you look like that. I'm not pulling with this. I'm pulling on with this only. Okay, I just open it up. In the real fight, you don't want to open it up because you can break your hand here. So we pull this way. So there's so many things, so good things there, but people is not interested on it, and people just going away on their fantasy, selling their I'm the lineage, I'm I'm from this grandmaster. Right now, you get chopped off. Sorry, from 130 years up to today, you get chopped off between 160 and 130 years. It's a void there you cannot explain. Now you trap yourself to death. This is the reality of Wing Chun. Now I'm not saying that everybody should quit. No. Let's change it. Let's link back to the real thing.
Yeah, people are going to need to take a reality pill and to take 2 steps down from the the platform maybe that they put themselves on, because when they verify stuff and they measure it and they really see how fit they are and how much ability they have internally or externally, it doesn't matter. But
well, get all the grandmaster to measure their VO2 max.
Exactly. And this is the reality pill, that if people aren't willing to do that, then they can continue to promote a model of teaching.
That's why I say,
or study,
let the consumer asking everybody, all the people you learn. Number one, what is your VO2 max? Number two, how you handle your HRV. If you cannot handle both, that means you cannot teach me. That means that's the base. You cannot teach me how to get my health better or get me to fight. So
yeah, you know, and if you do have a school and you want to change the way you teach, I think it's fine. You can explain to your students that you're changing the way of doing things, and it's a work in progress. No, you don't have to be the ultimate Buddha. You know, it's
my last words here. Time is almost out. I'm not asking anybody to follow Hendrik. I'm just asking that everybody go read on sports science, VO2 max, and the heart rate variability. Read on what our MMA friends do for the reality, and then you improve your school, you get better product, you get better teaching anyway. It's not, money doesn't come to my pocket, but you don't have to follow me. I don't want anybody to follow me. So
yeah, it's a win-win. It's a win-win situation.
Yeah, it's for Wing Chun. Let's do something for Wing Chun, okay? Okay, so this is for today. This is a reality stuff.
Thank you, Andre.
Welcome.